garden box filling day. So we are going to uncover our boxes from this plastic poly stuff that we have on there. That was to prevent weeds from growing early on, as well as nutrient loss over the winter. So we're gonna actually pull that off today, just kind of disturb the topsoil a little bit, and then just add a little bit more dirt just to encourage nutrition in the soil, just to give it a little boost to something. And then we're going to cover it today, and then next week hopefully we'll be able to actually plant in these garden beds. So I decided to bring you along today as we prepare the garden boxes. We got my helpers, obviously you've seen him. And that little one right there, she's going to be helping, and then we got one over there on the dirt mound shoveling some dirt. So we're going to just get to work.
Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city light. Hey darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in that car.
So right now they're putting mulch on just the little bit of fresh dirt that we put in these boxes, and that's going to immediately protect that dirt so that there's no not extra moisture or nutrient loss. Mulch is incredibly important in your garden, and that's something that I didn't necessarily learn until my husband drilled that in my head very hard for a long time, and then I figured it out. It's important.
Baby, don't you understand that we only get one life? I wanna make it count, honey. Come on now and take my hand. Hey darling, I love it when it's me and you on the road with a couple of
That's
tunes
excellent.
in
Good job.
pocket too. Hey darling, you know we're gonna have a really good time, driving in the middle of the night when the stars are bright. Pack our bags and get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city, let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty.
As much as these are completely edible and useful, I don't really want them taking up space in my garden boxes. Plus, we have a plethora.
We only get one life, I wanna make it count, honey. Come on now and take my hand. Let's get out, we can leave this city, let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday, baby, don't you understand that we
Pro tip for you: if you know somebody that lives in the city that cleans up their yard from leaves or other organic matter, definitely try to collect that and use it in your own garden. Okay, so it is the second day that we're working in our garden area, and today is much nicer. I'm already sunburned. But today we are working on larger portions of our garden, doing kind of the same thing as far as just bringing in some additional soil, making sure it has proper nutrients, as well as covering it with mulch. Today we are using, for the most part, for mulch, we are using old straw and hay from our sheep area, and that is heavily soiled with their manure from the winter, which is a cold manure, and you can use it directly on your garden. It doesn't necessarily have to age, which is really great. So we're gonna spread that all over our areas for like our sunflowers and our potatoes, which are in-ground garden areas as opposed to in boxes today. And so that's what we're working on and the goal for today. Mosquitoes are nasty.
The mosquitoes in Minnesota with
Sheep area cleanup day is the chicken's favorite. They absolutely love it. So here's a little sample for you of some sheep poo. This one is actually like, I don't really want to touch it. My husband would totally just barehand it. I don't want to. This one's a little like stuck together, which is not uncommon. But it's little pellets, just like kind of a rabbit. Look, there's a bug on that one. But it's really nice and clean. Obviously they're vegetarians, so they have a really clean system. Yeah, there you go. Put that in the garden. So this is the never-ending project. This is day 3 and still covering beds with mulch, hay, and all kinds of things. So this is what happens when you have chickens that jump the gate and you don't finish your projects. Look at them! This was all like nice and covered and the dirt was still moist. Now the sun's been beating on it because the chickens got in here and just tore it up. Those little stinkers. We're gonna have to really add some good nutrients to the soil and really get it nice and moist before we transplant out here, because these chickens are naughty. I got this bed done today, if you can see here. So I got that one done today, and it is toasty out here. I had to cover up my shoulders because I was burnt from yesterday, or day 2 on working on this. So I thought I'd cover up my shoulders a little bit. But one done. We still have to do the potato one, which is over there. And I do have to dig some trenches out for that one. And then we'll do some hay covering. I have fixed the boxes that the chickens have ruined. And then this middle section will be a little bit, I'm not quite ready for that. That's gonna be some trellising in the center here. I'm gonna put like our loofah gourds there, and there'll be probably like 3 or 4 cattle panel trellises in there, the arch ones. And then here, I think, I'm not positive what we're putting here, but we're gonna talk about garden planning tonight. And it's very likely I'm going to put a ton of tomatoes here. So I want to do, last year we had our tomatoes a little too close together, and that's my own fault because that's what I do. I put things close together. But this year I'm going to try to space them out to get proper airflow and just really see if I can improve the flavor and texture of the tomatoes by proper spacing. So we'll see. But we're going to go to Margarita inside because I'm super thirsty and margaritas are refreshing. I'll share with you how I make mine. So when I make a margarita, I always like to rim my glass with a kosher salt. And the best way to do that is to cut a lime and then make a little slice down the center of your lime. But before we actually rim this, we're going to take our ice that I had sitting in the cup and just put it in a shaker or off to the side. And you can skip that if you're not going to rim your glass, but I want to rim my glass. So we're going to drag the lime across the top and then dip it in your kosher salt. If you use like a regular table salt, it's just going to be way too salty. I really do prefer a kosher salt for this, or you can get really creative if you have fancy salts, or you could even do sugar if you're going to do a flavored margarita whatever you want to do, it's your cocktail. Then I like to take that lime and just squeeze it into the bottom of the glass, which gives us that little extra bit of lime juice that I really enjoy. You can also put a lime slice on the top if you'd like. I just squeeze that lime in and drop it in. I have washed these limes before doing this, just so you know. Then you're going to grab your tequila. I have an 1800 silver tequila here. You can use whatever kind you want. If it's silver or gold or cheap or expensive, whatever works for you. And you're going to do 1.5 ounces. Now I am a heavy pour, as you will see here. So you just make your cocktail how you want to make your cocktail. And I'm going to give you the basic recipe that I use. So after you get 1.5 ounces of your tequila in there, we are going to add in a 1/2 ounce of triple sec. Now triple sec is just an orange liqueur, so you could use Cointreau, Grand Marnier, whatever you like. And again, I am kind of a heavy pour, so this is a bit more than a 1/2 ounce. Then you're going to add in your mixer. Now I like to use this Zing Zang margarita mix. This stuff is absolutely delicious, by the way. It comes in a bottle like this, or you can get individual cans. If you're using the bottle, I usually use around 3 to 4 ounces, just kind of depending on the strength of your drink. You can, again, customize it how you want, but about 3 ounces goes into this one in particular. If you use the cans, just use a whole can. And the reason I like this mix is because it does not have high fructose corn syrup. It just has natural sugars and flavors, and that's what I prefer when it comes to anything I make. Give it a shake. I shook it much longer than I showed you here, so it gets nice and just really mixed well together. I do open the entire thing rather than just the top because I want that ice in there. Pour it into your mason jar or whatever cup you're using, stick a straw in, and enjoy. I guarantee you, you're going to love it. If you like margaritas, I highly recommend.